All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our November pit stop on Quick Writes. I appreciate you stopping in to add to your toolbox of learning and strategies that you may use with your kids. Quick Writes are something that you may be familiar with. They've been around a little while. They may be kind of a new strategy. It is an avid strategy pertaining to writing, of course, but I think you'll see that Quick Writes will also fairly significantly touch on inquiry. And so we'll get to that here shortly. So this is some information on how you might use Quick Writes with your kids. So to start off, let's talk a little bit about what are Quick Writes. The name is fairly self-explanatory, but there might be a bit more to it. Quick Writes are fairly easy to implement within your classroom. They are very manageable also as far as time, as far as materials and prep. Manageable from the standpoint that they are fairly low stress for both the teacher and the student. There's not necessarily like a right and wrong to your Quick Write, but you'll see that Quick Writes are also hot. And what I mean by that is they touch on Costa's higher levels, the higher order thinking that we get into when we think about Quick Writes allowing for words to be pulled from the writer's minds, from their hearts, right? Much more than just simply what is there in front of them on a page, on a screen. Quick Writes are going to do a fair amount to, see if I can move that back, pull that up. Quick Writes are going to do some things to ease the fear of your writers. Okay, again, there's no like right or wrong way to do a Quick Write. We are not overly concerned with conventions, spelling, penmanship, things like that. Again, the point of doing a Quick Write is to extract those thoughts and ideas and feelings and opinions and all that good stuff that's going on inside of our kids, to get that out onto their writing surface. And also, Quick Writes are kind of cool because they provide a voice for our subconscious. The Quick Write setup is one of the fast and furious jotting. Again, not too worried about anything else other than just getting our ideas from here and from here out onto our writing surface, out so that we can explore them, kind of roll around in them and see where we're at. So with that, let's take a look at, well, what do we do to start? Okay, if I've decided I want to try out Quick Writes in my classroom, the first thing I'm going to need is some sort of prompt to show to my kids so that they have something to respond to. And prompts can be in a variety of forms. They can be something audio, could be a tune, could be a song with lyrics, could be anything audio. More times than not, they're probably a visual prompt, and that could be a still, like a photograph or a drawing, a diagram, a sketch, but it could also be a video prompt. Those are going to be very engaging for our kids. Your prompt could be a piece of text, right? Something fairly short like a poem. A quote could even be a prompt. A short story could be a prompt. It could even be, I'll show those in a bit, maybe consider a picture book or a part of a picture book to be a prompt. And one resource that is fairly popular as the prompt of a Quick Write are infographics. They are usually packed with high interest information, kind of set up in a neat way that's engaging for the kids to look at and digest. And we'll take a look at an example of an infographic a little later that we will try out together. So once I have my prompt, I'll go ahead and move this down again. You might be wondering, okay, I've got my prompt, so how is this going to roll out? How will a Quick Write look? How will it sound? I will say that I think there is a ton of value in a teacher being a writer right along with his or her students during a Quick Write. And so that's why I have put on the screen that the teacher and the student will experience the prompt together at the same time. I think there is so much value in the kids getting to see you as a writer and as a role model of, I've got these thoughts, I've got these feelings, how can I get them out? After we experience that prompt, we're simply going to write to respond to that prompt. The length of that writing in time and duration can certainly be dictated by what your kids are able to handle and what they need. Just for a reference point, when I taught 3rd and 4th grade, we would usually take about 3 to 4 minutes as a length of time to write in response to that prompt. Now, once that writing time is finished, it's important then that we pause the writing, okay? We just kind of take a look at what we've got out. We let that settle before we move on. Now, in that time where the writing is paused, some teachers decide, hey, I think I would like my kids to share what they just wrote. And that could be sharing in a small group, kind of like a round robin structure. It could be that they're sharing with just one particular partner, maybe like an A and B, and then they switch roles. It could be that you have a certain number of kids or volunteers share out to the rest of the class, and so that they can kind of hear what some of their colleagues are thinking, because that might spark some additional thoughts for certain kids to add on. And that happens when that pause time is over, and then you get a second chance to write in response to that prompt. And again, what your kids are able to handle, what they need, what you have time for within your day would dictate how long that second writing time would last. And in the second writing time, the kids can extend that previous writing that they had done to that prompt, or maybe they have some new thoughts that have been generated from listening to others share that they can get down now with their piece. So now you have an idea of how the Quick Write unfolds, how it happens within your class. I want to share with you a few resources for prompts. One is, like we saw before, about infographics. TheDailyInfographic.com is a website that puts out, like it says, an infographic every single day. Here is the one from today. May or may not be one that you would choose to use with your kids. Be interesting to see what they say in response to the Neanderthals and human evolution. But when you scroll down, you'll see that these are the previous days, going back about 5 days, the previous infographics that have been put out. You also have some infographics that have been trending recently. And then I wanted to point out also, if you come up here to the upper left, you have categories. If you have specific things that you want to search for within an infographic, you have these categories that you can use. Okay, so that is dailyinfographic.com. The New York Times puts out this piece called What's Going On in This Picture? And these are kind of cool. They are photographs, and you could use the photograph as a prompt for kids to respond back to. I mean, just take a look at this one here. Think of all the questions and observations that could be brought up. You know, when you think about with higher order thinking, we ask kids to speculate and imagine and infer and analyze and explain all of those great things that they could be doing with some of these picture prompts. Wonder where these guys are going in their boat. Why have these people congregated together here? What was going on with these boxes and these kids? So many different photographs that you could search and explore to use as possible prompts. So this is from the New York Times, what's going on in this picture. TheWordlessNews.com, probably more for older grades, just because the prompts there would probably be good for some deeper interpretation. So we'll kind of skip over that, but that's one that you could explore. If you're looking for video prompts, The Kid Should See This is the name of a site that has all kinds of different short video pieces And like when I say short, couple minutes, and you could even just show certain segments of the video piece if you wanted to. But I'll kind of scroll down so you can see just some of the ideas. You can search topics. Here's some that have come up recently on their site. Kids love to watch videos, of course. You have these categories that you could search within if you were looking for some specific ideas or some specific things that you wanted kids to respond to. So that's the Kids Should See This video prompts. Here is a Pinterest board. Catherine Sokolowski is a literacy teacher. She's created this board, videos for mini lessons, but again, kind of like the Kids Should See This. These are all great little video pieces, all short pieces that you could use as possible prompts. And then, like I said earlier, thinking about picture books, wordless picture books make wonderful pieces for quick writes. Some of my favorite are the wordless picture books from Chris Van Allsburg. I've used all of these within my classroom. Each and every one of them has been a big hit. If you wanted to use a whole text, The Stranger is very intriguing. Lots of cool observations and questions and wonderings and ideas can come out of that. Again, a whole text piece, The Sweetest Fig by Van Allsburg is a great piece to use as a prompt. And if you wanted just still drawings that can go a million different ways, which is a lot of fun, The Mysteries of Harris Burdick by Chris Van Allsburg is one that I would recommend probably above any other. So those are different resources that you can use for your prompts for your quick writes. Just a small sample, obviously. I'm sure there are thousands of others great resources you could use for prompts. So if we were to go ahead and give Quick Write a try, I had shared with you this link that is from Daily Infographic, and it is all about, I'm just going to go ahead and click it here, jean care hacks. I thought, you know, kind of thinking about our blue jeans, clothes that are comfortable, favorite clothing items is a lot more fun than thinking about COVID or something like that. So if I enlarge that, what I would do for my kids, ideally, you would not have to scroll to see this, but maybe you could print the infographic out. Maybe you could push it out to the kids virtually so that they would have time to kind of roll around and experience that prompt here. So for our purposes, I'm just going to kind of slowly scroll, and then we can take some time to write together. So as I'm scrolling, be sure that you are being an observant reader, a thinker. What kind of thoughts, feelings, ideas do these jean care hacks bring up for you? I'm wondering, what responses will you have to these ideas on jean care hacks? Maybe some of you already use some of these ideas. I didn't realize there were so many hacks that could be done. I'll be thinking about these the next time it's a jean day. Okay, so we're getting an opportunity to experience this prompt together. So as The teacher, I would definitely have my writer's notebook ready. I would encourage my kids to have their writer's notebooks ready, their writing utensil. I'm just going to bring this back up here to leave. And then, like I said, we would determine a certain amount of time for us to write. So let's just virtually imagine that I give you 3 minutes that you can go back to observe the prompt a little more, to think, to jot down your responses to the Gene Care hacks, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. I also did some writing while you were writing, and let's go ahead and pause our writing for now, okay? And we'll go ahead and share out. And I think the way that we can virtually best do this is I'll go ahead and share my thoughts with you so that you can see how this might work. So had my writer's notebook ready to go, and I have my first section of writing right here. This is what I wrote. There's nothing like a pair of jeans that fit you perfectly, you know? Room to move around, jeans that you can get some work done in. Kind of like the most basic but most useful clothing item all rolled into one. Now, that piece that was there about not washing jeans, that was new to me. It really was. Kind of counterintuitive, right? We always wash our dirty laundry, but maybe this is a little bit different. But that piece was new to me. But it does make sense, I guess, when you think about, you know, the duress that clothes go under through the washing cycle, through drying, things like that. I did like the piece where whoever made this infographic thought that the phrase thaw before wearing was necessary if you go ahead and put your jeans in the freezer or something like that. So that was just what I wrote. So I would give as many kids as we had the opportunity to share out so we can hear some different ideas, might jog our memory, spark some new ideas. And then like we saw before, you would have a second opportunity to write. So let's go ahead and take 1 minute for our second opportunity to write in response, and then we'll get back together. Okay, we're back. And for our second opportunity to write, I added a little bit more to my piece. And again, I'm going to share this with you. You might not always have a second kind of share time in your quick write, but I want to share this with you just so you can kind of see ideas coming from the mind and from the heart. This is what I wrote. I wonder what is scientifically, or what is happening scientifically that works for the vodka solution. I thought that was pretty strange. But then again, I guess that alcohol is like used as a sterilizer and a cleaner sometimes. I can really relate to that point about Italians and the charm of clothes on the clothesline in the sunshine. I remember being very young and helping my mom put laundry out on our backyard clothesline. It was mostly like bed sheets and blankets and stuff like that that she would put out to dry on the clothesline. Our clothesline, it was 2 long lines, kind of span the length of the backyard, not like some of those that are kind of that, I think they're like pentagonal shaped clotheslines or something like that. But you know, when you think about happy memories, that's one for me, thinking back to the smell of bedding, you know, that had been washed and dried out on a clothesline in the fresh air, and how good those always smelled and felt good to crawl into that night. So there you see how, again, a quick write is designed to get any of our thinking, any of our emotions, our questions, our thoughts, our observations, our memories, even to come back up. So thank you for spending a little time with me learning about quick writes. Thank you if you participated along with the quick writes and kind of paused the video to go along with that. If you would ever want me to come in and kind of work through a quick write either with you within planning, or to actually put a quick write together and get that going live within your classroom, whether we're in person or virtually, please let me know. I would be very happy to do that. So thanks again, everybody. Take care. here.